Perfect. Welcome to the member Q&A. I have got a lot of questions, and if anyone has any more as we go through, please do let Christelle know, and she'll whack them over to me. I have pressed record, haven't I, Christelle? I think I have. So we're off and running. I've got some Google news, which definitely need to share with you. Your questions, and then anything else that comes up during the call. The Google news is all about mobile websites, and basically Google has said that if your site doesn't work on a mobile, you're not even going to be listed. So you'll actually disappear from existence on anyone's mobile device if your site does not work on a mobile. So that's really crucial. I think most people's sites now are what we call responsive. So they work on any size screen, they just adjust as you go. But you want to check that and make sure that your website works well on a mobile, because if it doesn't, Google's not going to send you any traffic from people on mobiles. And bearing in mind that that's about at least 50% of traffic for most of the websites I manage. That's a really crucial thing. So please check if your site is mobile friendly. Recent search changes. Google is always changing how it presents search and testing new stuff. And the recent change, which I mentioned already, has been to make organic traffic even further down the page. So search here, personal injury solicitors. You get usually four. There's only 3 on this one. 4 ads, and then you get a bit of detail, and then you get business reviews, and it's right down here before we get to the organic listings. So it'd be interesting to see if that makes a difference. I know a lot of people I speak to, I bore people talking about online marketing. I ask them how they search for stuff, and quite often people say, well, I skip straight past sponsored and go down to organic. But there's other people obviously click Google Ads, which is why I've got a Google Ads business, because it can make you get you a lot of traffic and make you a lot of money. But it will just be interesting to watch how that pans out, because that is a big change. I'd say Google often tests different layouts, and it may well go back to the old one. But those 2 Google changes, a site not working on mobile, being delisted from Google search on mobile, and the different search results are just worth watching out for, really. That's why I bring them to your attention, to make sure you're okay with them. So I'm going to start with the first question, and you might recognize this one, Helen. Helen's asked me the question about her niche site. We're going to have a look at her site, so you'll get to see what she does. Can she use Google Ads to get good clients and good quality clients? And my first point there is Google Ads is always a numbers game. So if there was a magic button I could press that said only, for conveyancing, only people buying a house for £1 million I want, or only people that have got a big budget for business law, then I'd be an incredibly rich man. But with Google, it's a case of getting as much traffic as you can, and of that, some of it will be good quality leads. So the key here in the challenge, and I'll look at this for you, Emma, is to sort of get enough traffic to the site, and if it's the right quality traffic, and I'll look at some of the keywords, then that should turn into good business for you. So if we look at your site, transport regulatory, I like the fact that we know exactly who you are and what you do. Perfect. What I do not like is a LinkedIn button at the top, which means that I can go straight onto your site and go straight off it again and then never come back. So I would hide that down the bottom of the site, because the last thing I want to do, especially if you're going to be spending money on Google Ads, is send people from Google Ads to your site and they accidentally click LinkedIn and then they've gone. So I don't want that happening for you. So in terms of the site, I did a quick check on site speed. We're a bit slow on mobile. 35 desktops, okay at 75. There is a plugin that can probably, is it a WordPress site, Emma? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I will put this link in the chat box. If I could type it. All right, where's the chat box? So I'll put that in there. NitroPack just speeds up your site instantly. So pretty much, I'm almost certain that you'd be able to get that on there, and the site speed. Let me just will get you up to 70 or 80 at least for mobile. It's pretty much instant, so it's well worth having getting that on your site to speed up your site. So I put it in the chat box. It's NitroPack, but the link's in there. So next bit, what are you getting traffic for already? What traffic is out there? So this tool, Ahrefs, is the one I use for basically spying as if I'm Google, seeing what people see from your site in the bigger picture. Domain rank of 20 is really good. That's encouraging. Anything above 5 is a starting point, but over 20 you're doing really well. So it means you've got some backlinks to your traffic. People appreciate your site and the quality of it, and therefore it gets natural backlinks. For what you're getting traffic for already, keyword wise, which might give you some idea. Longer lorries, that's your best search term, getting good traffic. What I'm looking for here is, what would people type into Google that might actually be looking for you? If we go back to your page, I've got your question. Transport regulatory law. So let me just put that into a search. Would we put in something like that? Look at that. You're straight at the top, so that's not bad, is it? What I'm trying to work out is let's hack some other people's sites and see if we can give you some keywords that you can put into your Google Ads campaign. And then, as I say, it's just trying to get your numbers up to make this work. So if I go to Site Explorer, I do like looking at other people's websites. So they've got a domain rank 56, Waitmans. I mean, they've been around since I was practicing. And as you can tell, as someone kindly pointed out, and more clients now call the other day, Nick, your hair's gone back and your beard's got grayer. I've been around a long time. And this was someone that wanted me to help them with their business. I thought it was an interesting start to the conversation. But hey, he's not wrong. So Waitmans have been around since I was practicing. I left in 2002, 3. So yeah, they've got a good domain rank. A bigger firm, used to be a very much defendant firm. Had some good fights with them back in the day. DVSA operator's license, would that be of relevance to you, Emma?
Yeah.
So basically, look down here. Look, there's only 90 a month in the UK. It's not huge amounts, but if that's a good paying client, you don't need huge amounts. But sometimes with niche, you struggle to get volume, but you get really good quality. And if that quality turns into paying clients, but you've only spent a few £100s on Google Ads, perfect.
Yeah.
Happy days. So transport lawyer, maybe. Emma, transport lawyer, transport solicitor. So there's a few things there.
All the usual suspects I just said.
Good. All right, let's just have a look. I don't think we want that one. Let's have a look at a couple more, see if there's any more keywords for you there. Transport solicitors, transport lawyer, there you go. So laws, transport, that's basically your keyword list. Anything with the word law and transport in it is gonna be your sort of space. Let's just look at one more. The transport lawyers, solicitors, there you go. So for me, it looks like, it's going to be a small campaign, very focused. And then the important thing is when you start sending that traffic to your site, make sure that they go to a page that matches what they've typed in. So if they type in transport solicitor, transport lawyer, the first thing I want to see on this page is transport solicitors. So they go, oh, transport solicitor, see an ad, transport solicitor, click on the ad, land on the page, transport solicitors. So I would have a separate landing. Go on.
Yeah, we were going to do some individual landing pages that basically just followed so that we could monitor it and.
Perfect. Yeah. That'll work a treat. So yeah, have a transport lawyer page, and then give me detail on there. That I'm not sure about the sort of 3-column layout. There's a lot of stuff on there. If you can follow a simple 1-page layout, even that sort of layout would be better. You just want to make it easy for people to read. This for me as a landing page would be terrible because they'll get lost and they'll just go and click on everything and then they won't get it down. Won't take any action. Have a look at the recent video training, which is now in the website training section about how to set up the best performing landing pages, and there's a website formula there to follow for getting a landing page right. And Emma, if you play with one and you want me to check it over, just ping an email over to me and I'll gladly have a look through it and tell you what to tweak to make it better. Because I wouldn't send much traffic to this site before getting a good landing page, good layout, converting, because people will sift through the gaps. So yeah, and the other thing is when you do start running Google Ads, I'd test live chat on here. When you're spending money, it's worth doing that, especially as they offer a 2-week free trial, so you don't have to risk your money. But if you get questions and clients from that, you can improve the landing page with the questions that they ask that you haven't perhaps answered already, and you should get more leads from it as well.
Yeah, we've struggled a bit with that concept of live chat just because it's such a specialist area and it is so detailed that whenever I've raised that with listers, they won't engage basically because
it's all done for you, so you don't do it, and all they will do is field the questions for you and then get a transcript of it coming through. But as I say, I definitely test it, but only when you're sending higher volumes of traffic to the site using Google Ads.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions before I move on to the next question? No. Good. All right. If you think of anything, just let me know. Just email me. Happy to help. Next one. I like this question because it's a good question, but I almost think it's the wrong question. How can I get my team involved in bringing in new business? If you've got a specialist team of any type, my personal preference is to say, let them get on with their work, because they can make you more money doing the work probably than they can bringing in new business. So that's my sort of first thought, that especially when we're talking about solicitors, but even any professional service business, we've got different businesses in the academy. If the people doing your work can earn a good amount per day or per hour, and they're not natural marketers, you'll often be better off letting them get on with that, and you put in systems and outsource your marketing so that the work is done, the marketing work's done for you, and they have a steady stream of leads just to deal with. For me, especially with solicitors, the further you can get most of them away from the phone, the initial inquiry, the better you will do. And my best clients have always got a call center, a call team when they're big enough of 2 or 3 people that handle all the inquiries and convert them, so that the person doing the work only gets it when they're converted. So that being said, if you really want to get your team involved, generally I found that the mercenary approach works well. Give them an incentive, whether that's Amazon vouchers or a financial bonus, or even just get in enough work this month you can have half a day off. Incentives usually work well for people, but as I say, my first point of call would be to say don't. And finally, if you're not a massive firm, my preference is my preference is always outsourcing parts. So if you want someone doing your Google Ads, get someone doing your Google Ads. If you want to do social media, not that I'm a fan, but if you feel you must, and LinkedIn is probably the only one for business to business that I would, then you can outsource that to someone. So if you don't have the capacity, there's specialists in all sorts of areas that you can find on Upwork. I'll put the link below this, Fiverr.com, all sorts of different places that you can find specialists. And my preference is always for you to understand what you've got to do, set up a plan with that person to do it, and then just manage them and make sure they do exactly what you want them to do. Because you need to control that. The biggest mistakes I see a business owner make is getting a marketing person on board, whether that's internally or externally, and just saying, great, they can do everything now, I'll forget all about it. You have to control them. You have to know the stats, the metrics that you're staying on top of to make it work for you. So never let go of, never abdicate responsibility. You've got to keep control. And there's experts out there, and if you're stuck and you can never find someone, you don't know who you need or what you should be doing, you know where I am. You can just ask me. The next one comes from a bookkeeping business, and this one really did make me scratch my head. This bookkeeper got in touch with a web company who designed a very big new website for an awful lot of money. And if you need a website, don't spend an awful lot of money. Come to me for a small monthly fee. That's the only reason I'm doing it now, because I get my clients spending 10, 15, 20 pound, 20,000 on websites that are hopeless and will never do what they're supposed to do, which is bring in new clients. It drives me absolutely insane. So she was told that she should niche down her bookkeeping business to one sector. And in this particular sector, it was construction industry, people on IR35, I think they call it. Lots of contractors they have to pay, and they outsource that. So I asked why, and she said, well, the web design company said that she should. I said, are they specialists in marketing, or do they just make websites? And generally they just make websites, but they'd heard it somewhere that niching was a good idea. When I actually inquired further, the number of people that she had on her books that were in this niche was nominal. She had bigger niches elsewhere, but they had chosen this niche. So you've just got to be really careful when you take advice from people, to ensure that they know that they're asking a question from an informed position. They weren't in her case. And I've strongly suggested you can still serve niches on a bigger site by having separate sections for your different niches. So you could have one for dentists, one for bookkeepers, one for accountant. You can have different niche sections. You don't have to have separate websites. And another question I get is, should I have a separate website for each niche? And by and large, I'll always say no, because it's hard enough to update one website. So having 2, 3, or 4 is just going to make your life nigh on impossible. Better off having sections of the website that cater to different niches. Just recently, another company advised one of my clients that they should change the website design. And I said, and they actually recommended a site that I know well, and I know how well that does. And I know it doesn't perform as well as my client's website that was told to change it. So I said, you can tell that. Thanks for their thoughts, but please stick to what they do for a living, not what they think might work when it doesn't. Honestly, people don't worry about breaking your business. They're happy to give you advice and say, well, I'm just trying to help. But if they've got no knowledge or expertise, keep your help to yourself, please. You damage too many of my clients' businesses. Rant over, I shall breathe. Website review, where am I going for this one? One of my many open tabs. Haggerty Horgan. So I'd probably just make the landing logo bigger. It's quite small up there. I'd probably make that bigger. I do know that I checked this one earlier for site speed, and again, it's very slow on the mobile. Definitely worth spending some time on that. So get the app that I've put in the chat. I'll put it below the video as well. Get NitroPack, because that will speed things up. If we go to one of the, let's go to the buying house page, you'll see what I mean when it loads. It's just reloading this page, but it is quite a slow reload. What I like about this page, while it reloads, is subheadings are good. We've got bullet points, break up the copy. We've got a call to action, and I know that this has been improved because this wasn't there last time I spoke. So well done for making the changes. Pleased to see that. So yeah, got a talking call to action. This is all part of the website training I've done recently. So if you're stuck on that, make sure you have a look at that and make sure you improve the website. Site speed's massive. I would say I might be inclined to go one column design, because reading this is fine. It's set to really wide, and we've got the services above. Probably don't need all of that on here now. We could embed this onto the content here, especially as on mobile, we're only going to see the central column. Let's have a look at the site through my SEO Explorer. I think I might have hit. Domain rank 16, again, that's very good. So it suggests the website's been around for a while. Well done. Organic keywords. So we're not getting a lot of organic traffic, which is a shame. Let me go over to another tool and see if I can spot a why for that. So this is Screaming Frog, and it just analyzes a site like Google. And for some reason, it's telling me that there's only one page on this website. I'm sure that's not the case, but normally it will list all the pages, and it's saying one page, and we're only targeting the firm name. Oh, okay, here we go. So the title tag, description tag should both be targeting the same keyword. So if we're going for employment law solicitors, that also has to have employment law solicitors, but it doesn't. So I think some work needs doing on the basic road traffic accident solicitors. That's there. So that's exit separation solicitors. So we've got some SEO going on in there. I'm just it's just taking a while to load. I wonder if that comes back to the site speed. It's slow to crawl because that site speed needs beefing up. So adding that app will make a big difference. But otherwise, call to actions are on here. I'll probably get some images on the team, Gary. Let's get you on there. Let's not be shy. Let people see who they're dealing with, people by people. And otherwise, you know, the call to actions are all there. Have you tested live chat? If you have, great. But especially if you're sending money, traffic to the site from Google Ads, then make sure that you've got live chat on there. If it works for you, keep it going. If it doesn't, stop it. It's a 2-week free trial. I can actually get it up to 4 for you if you would like. So if you test it for 2 and find you need longer, let me know and I'll email them and ask them to make it 4. If you've got any more questions on that specifics, Gary, then please type them in the chat box and Christo will let me know and I can come back to it for you at the end. Let's have a look at the next question. This was from Peter. Thank you, Peter. What do you do about keeping content up to date on pages? Really good question, because Google does love up-to-date content. And there's two ways I just look at this. One is you want your content to be up to date, but with a law firm website, if you're actually answering questions that people type into Google, you don't want to be putting in reviews of legislation, etc., because then it will be dated. The public's never looking for that, so it's not going to get you traffic. So carefully think about what content you're doing. Ideally, make it evergreen, which means that it's always up to date for the few things that do change. So if you are talking about probate or confirmation in Scotland, and there's a financial limit at which it applies, then put the limit in, and then when that changes, you can do a search and replace across the website using better search and replace and change the value automatically. So it'll save you having to do it. So when it comes to content, I try and always write evergreen content when you can't avoid putting in a financial value or something that is very client friendly, not legal friendly. Then make it easy to search and replace so that when it does change, you don't have to spend hours going through every page of the website. Excuse me. Anyone else had the 100-day cough? It's an absolute peach. I recommend it if you'd like to choke regularly every day. It's fantastic. What am I using at the moment? Lemon and honey tea is about the only thing that seems to help. Just should anyone be suffering. Next one, do you use canonical to give priority to one page over others? So this is if you have several pages answering the same sort of question, Google says, look, tell us which one you want us to rank more than the others. I have 2 thoughts on this. Even if you tell Google, look at this page, not that one, Google will do exactly what it wants, as always. That's Google's right. And they always do. So there's that to consider. And secondly, just from a whole user experience point of view, you're generally better off having one big page answering all of the questions around the topic than you are having 5 or 6 smaller ones trying to do it piecemeal. I don't use canonical because I recommend trying to get bigger pages answering the same topic. If they're very similar, you're not going to get a lot of value. And even if you tell Google, don't look at this page, look at this one, Google more likely than not will look at that one because that's what it does. So that's my thoughts on that. Try and make the content evergreen content. If you really can't, make bigger articles, which are more likely to get ranked than smaller ones. And you should get better results. I'm coming up to the last pre-asked question. Christel, if there's anything in the chat box, if you have any more questions, anyone, just put them in the chat. Christel will feed them over to me. But Google Ads rep calls, should you speak to them and should you use Google's auto reply to recommendations? And just a huge warning on this one. Google may say they're your friend and they want to help you and they only care about you. But I can tell you that they only care about making 85 billion a quarter and trying to get that up to 90 billion a quarter and 100 billion a quarter. And if they can use your money to do so, they absolutely will, without thought or regard to what results you're getting. The recent experience of that, someone that I was mentoring on their Google Ads, they spent over a 14-day period £93, £2.39 cost per click, and had 3 to 6 leads. He wasn't quite sure, but he knew he'd had a good number. He then gave in and ignored my advice and took a Google rep call, the email you get saying, I'm your Google rep, I'm going to help you. And Google said, right, we're going to turn on every recommendation that the Google's AI says, because this will be great for you. And so he allowed them to do that. And the cost per click went up by nearly £1. More importantly, he spent more than four times as much, £422. And he got absolutely zero leads because Google just turned on broad match search terms, which meant anything anywhere near his business he spent money on, but it wasn't stuff that turned into clients for him. And so you have to be so careful. My advice is don't talk to Google reps, ignore their emails, don't turn on Google auto applied recommendations. If you're not sure if you have them on or not, there's a video inside the Google Ads online marketing section, and if you can't find it, let me know. I'll point it out. I know I've done one for you recently. But yeah, don't let them turn on auto applied recommendations, because it will just spend you money and not give any results, which is not what you want and definitely not what I want for you. And that is all the questions we have so far. If you've got any more now, feed them through. If you think of any afterwards, or you've tweaked your website after something I've said on this call or something I've said before, then by all means email me and I'll gladly look over it for you on a one-on-one basis. Otherwise, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you have a lovely Wednesday afternoon. If there's no more questions. Christelle, nothing coming in? All right, well, lovely to see you all. Thanks all for joining me. Those that made it through, those that get the recording. Any more questions, please ping them over to me. I'd be happy to help. Have a good day. Bye all. Bye.